Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu, and I'm bringing you guys this game in the JoinDota League. This is going to be the first game, for today at least for me, of TongFu.NA North America vs Worlds End. And yeah, it's JDL number 9, we're getting our way on. So we see the band's going to go through. Let me go and switch overlay before I forget. And here we are, in the game. Yay, production value, woo! Congratulations, confetti, confetti. Alright,
10 seconds
celebrations aside, because CulBlu's here today. Celebrations aside, we're going to go ahead and jump into this game. It's like I said, TongFu North America versus Worlds End. I've seen TongFu in North America and I also seen Worlds End play. I think Worlds End have been plagued by having really good rotations just at the wrong time. It's like just like a split second too late and then they just get wrecked in some rotation ganks. But the idea is always good for them, but it just seemed like every time they go for rotation, it's just off by a little bit, and then it's like, darn, team lost a fight. And TongFu North America, they seem to be an extremely patient team. Like, when I say patient, I'm talking, we won the game already, there's only one set of Raxes left, but let's just go ahead and farm, make sure everybody has buyback, and then go in, type of, like, patient. It's like next level patient. I guess it's more so akin to, like, the old school, or not old school, just current school CIS Dota. So, I'm not sure if TongFu North America is actually representing or a subsect of TongFu themselves, or if they're, like, you know, a entirely differently made team. But I'm assuming maybe they scrimmage a lot with TongFu, and maybe they go back and forth. I don't know. All these things have escaped me as far as facts go, but let's go and jump into the game because I can tell you guys these things. These things are true. Lone Druid will not be in this game. Faces Void will not be in this game. Doombringer will not be in this game, and also OD will not be in this game. So a relatively set list of things. I've seen TongFu North America play the OD once, and I think I did well with it. It was either them or somebody else, but long story short, OD is pretty good in this meta, pretty good in this patch. I don't know what it is about him, but he's just being able to steal agility with right clicks. It's like heaven. It's like the fix that he needed. He scales a lot harder now, especially since there's a lot more intelligence-based items, a lot more intelligence-friendly items, like the Dragon Lance. It's really good for intelligence heroes because they need strength. And if you just give him that, then he just has a ball. So he's going to get banned out by Worlds End, which is a very smart ban in my opinion. I think he's a really good mid. I'm moving to the other bans, Lone Druid and Faces Void. I like Faces Void as an offlaner. I think Faces Void is an extremely strong offlaner, and I'm pretty sure once it hits like the super mainstream meta, like once you start seeing like the super huge tournaments start taking over a lot more, like maybe even TI6 or so, we'll probably see Faces Void play in the offlane as like a solid offlaner. But he's going to get banned out by TongFu North America. We also had the Spirit Breaker getting banned out by them too. Moving to the picks though, TongFu North America pick up the Dazzle, they pick up the Gyrocopter. Dazzle is still a very straightforward, reliable support to have. The heal is just so nice. Being able to keep people alive with the shallow graves is just so nice. So shallow, so gravy, much wow. But Dazzle's going to be picked up on TongFu North America, pretty much a guaranteed support to have. Meanwhile, on the side of Worlds End, they do pick up the Undying, which tells me that they want to be a little bit more aggressive than normal. I'm okay with aggression. Aggression's nice. Undying is really nice as far as going for those dives, as far as helping his team get aggressive, and you know, just be aggressive, be aggressive, because the letter B and then E. Okay, never mind. So that's a cheer. But Undying really nice as far as letting his team be aggressive. I like Undying a lot. I think he has a lot of utility to him as well, outside of just, you know, in your face, let's do this. He has a Soul Rip, which is a pseudo cool heal. It depends on how many units are around him, but by the time that you Soul Rip somebody and they get full heal from it, I guess it's not that big of a deal because a person's probably going to die anyway. But Tombstone's probably his biggest asset, and also his ulti. A lot of people don't understand that Undying's ulti has a gigantic range, has a 750 range, which is basically it's 750 range is above Techie's range. And Techie's attack range is pretty ridiculous, 700. So he has a 750 range of a giant amplified damage aura that helps his team out in these team fights a lot. So hopefully we'll see that come into play as far as augmenting Invoker's damage, augmenting Witch Doctor's damage, and Timbersaul's damage now. Moving to the rest of the bans though. On the side of TongFu, they do ban out the Spirit Breaker. They also ban out the Morphling. Wasn't really seeing this as a Morphling game, but okay. And on the other side, Worlds End do ban out the Oracle and the Anti-Mage, which is funny because Oracle is really strong. Not just in this patch, but I think overall, just people don't understand how strong he is. But he's getting he's getting stronger as he goes along, as more people figure out that he can actually do a ton of damage. Actually went to the lab a little while ago and did the math. And if you cast, you can cast 2 Purifying Flames. So you cast Purifying Flame and then immediately start channeling your Fate's Edict or Fate's End, which is the thing that purges stuff and does a nuke. And you also, while it's flying, like after you fully charge, like you let it fully charge, and then by the time that's fully charged, you can drop another Purifying Flames, and it's like another set of damage. and by the time the Fate's Edict hits, it does another nuke of damage and it gets rid of all the heal. And I think in total, if you do it right, it heals up 88 damage. It heals up 88 HP and it deals like 750 damage. So you do the math and it's like a lot of damage. It's a lot of nukage. It only costs him, I did the math somewhere, I wrote it down. It only does 587 damage total, and it costs him 270 mana, which is relatively speaking efficient. It's about 1 or 2 points of damage per mana spent. Really efficient. Long story short, Oracle is really strong. People don't understand that. People don't do the math. People are starting to find out the hard way, and we're starting to see him banned out a lot. Like top tier, first ban, first pick, and he's going to be banned out this game by Worlds End. Very smart. So. But that kind of opens up TongFu to open up pick up a Darkseer who's really strong. He does struggle a ton versus Oracle because Oracle can just purge off Surge, purge off Ion Shell, and just gives Darkseer a hard time. So, given all that, TongFu, they did take advantage of it. They're going to pick up a Darkseer for their off lane. They also got a Dragon Knight for the mid, which actually, I like the new Dragon Knight. I didn't realize his Breathe Fire had an extra ability. Now, keep in mind, I stopped playing Dota right when Winter Warman was introduced into the game. So, I missed all the fancy little buffs that people like Dragon Knight got. But I didn't know Breathe Fire reduced damage dealt. And maybe it did all the time, I just never paid attention to it. But it's really cool to see that on DK. And also, I'm really excited to see a mid DK go versus Invoker. I think he should not get bullied out of lane, but then again, he has to watch out for the Cold Snap Sunstrike, because Sunstrike's pure damage, and the Cold Snap's going to mess up his time a lot. That might force Dragon Knight to get a few more points in Dragon Blood than what he wants, but hopefully we see some rotations by somebody like Tusk, who hasn't been picked up, by the way. I just want to point that out. Tusk has been completely ignored by both teams, and Tusk seems to be extremely strong. Everybody seems to want a Tusk. If they do get a Tusk on TongFu's North America side, I think it will be really nice. They'll maybe make it a little bit more strenuous on Dazzle, but Dazzle can handle it. As far as the last few bans, we have an Emissary getting banned out. We also have a Night Stalker and Anti-Mage. I didn't talk about them that much. I don't really have to talk about them that much. Night Stalker really annoying. Just face tank, get in your face, do stuff, do damage, kill people, wreck stuff. Anti-Mage, farm, split push, shows up from middle of nowhere, wrecks your Invoker. He's gonna have a bad day. You don't want that. So having the Anti-Mage banned out is nice, but the Phantom Lancer is still in the pool. I think TongFu maybe debating whether they should go for the Phantom Lancer, have Gyrocopt as a secondary carry or support, or maybe even just go ahead and pick up a Tusk, because I think Tusk is a really nice person. Tusk plays very aggressively, and like I said, TongFu North America seem to be a lot more patient than some other teams, so I'm not sure if it fits into their playstyle at all. But at the very least, Tusk is still in the pool. That's something I gotta point out, because I don't know how many games you guys have seen, but actually Tusk and Bane are in the pool. I think Bane might be more fitting of their playstyle if they want to go for that. But I don't know if you guys have been watching or paying attention to their current patch, but Tusk and Bane are at the top, like super top, that almost always get through. And they actually go for Shadow Shaman, so they're going to go for some push. I like Shadow Shaman as a support. I get to talk about all the pro things that Shadow Shaman can do, because I play Shadow Shaman all the time. Not well, but I play Shadow Shaman all the time. And I get to talk about mana efficiency and Ether Shock versus Hex and Shackles and all the things I learned. I feel like this is a coming of age for CulBlu. I get to talk about the things I know now. That Shadow Shaman's in the game, so I'm going to be very excited. You guys are going to hear me talk about Shadow Shaman a lot. I'm sorry, just heads up. But Shadow Shaman getting picked up on TongFu North American side means that they have a support who does need a little bit of farm, so Dazzle's going to be pretty starved. I'm expecting to see Shadow Shaman do a lot of pulls. If they do a tri-lane with Dazzle, Gyrocopt, or Shadow Shaman, it should be a kill lane. It could be an aggressive tri-lane. A kill lane in the sense that Dazzle can drop a slow, Shadow Shaman can follow up with all kinds of hexes and stuns and slows, and Gyrocopt has the damage necessary to help them get the kills. Hell, I think they can probably get a level 1 kill at the Rune if they're not careful inside of World's End. But if it's a Timbersaw versus the tri-lane, aggressive tri-lane of TongFu, then I think Timbersaw's going to have a horrible time going against his Dazzle and the Shadow Shaman. Now inside of World's End, we see them taking a sweet time. So far they need a carry, unless they want to run a carry Invoker, which it's fine, I guess it works, but instead they go for a Juggernaut. Okay, so this will be okay. I've been seeing a lot of ideas shifted in the meta to where Juggernaut as a carry seems to be only good if you have somebody who can carry mid, like somebody like a Windrunner, somebody like a Invoker, somebody even like a Queen of Pain who can transition into a carry, because Juggernaut by himself cannot carry his team. He's like a semi-carry, like a pseudo-carry. At least from my experience. So, with all that said and done, I just realized, okay, I was about to say, I just realized my mic is muted. Oh no, I just said all that stuff, my mic's muted. Oh, I was gonna freak out. Alright, that's okay guys, it's okay, CulBlu's alive, we got this. It's famous last words. But we got some DCs coming out. I'll talk more about the team compositions in a moment. Let's go and do introductions, starting from the side of World's End. World's End, on their side, they have On This Undying, they have Costs. Wow, that's not Undying. Cuss, playing that Undying. Look how mean he is. Rawr. I haven't eaten in 5 days. That's why my stomach looks like this. Rawr. So we got him playing Undying. Moving to Timbersaw. Wow. Okay, Timbersaw. Just get over yourself, bro. Wow. Okay, really, Timbersaw? Really? Okay. On this Timbersaw, we have Ice playing Timber on his Witch Doctor, who has a monkey on his head. Oh, it's a little monkey. Look how cute it is. Just want to squeeze it and kill it, because I can't stand how cute it is. Fun fact. The reason why humans want to squeeze things that are cute is because they can't stand it. They can't, in their mind, they can't compose why it's so cute, so they want to just end its life and just kill it and destroy it so they can feel better about themselves. Allegedly, according to BuzzFeed. And, you know, BuzzFeed could be wrong. I don't know. Not about you guys, but I don't trust BuzzFeed all the time. But yeah, so we see Witch Doctor being played by wow, okay, so many syllables. Shepherd. I shall call you Shepherd. We see Shepherd playing that Witch Doctor. Move on to the Invoker with the crazy hair. We see Noble Wings playing that Invoker. Not that Invoker, but that Invoker. Specifically that Invoker. And actually I need to increase my volume a little bit. Okay, because my audio levels are a little bit lower than I want them to be. Where's some mic boost? I hope it didn't reset itself again. Alright, there we go. My mic's going to be really loud now. Sorry guys, if you guys weren't hearing my voice, it's okay. It's going to get really real in a few moments. And last one is on this Juggernaut on the side of World's End. We see Paper Doll playing that Juggernaut. Looking very pretty. Look at his mask. That's a nice mask. I like that mask. That's a nice mask. It's a very nice mask. He has hair too? What? Juggernaut, bro. You're balling. Moving to the side of TongFu on the Shadow Shaman. Very fiery, very explicit, and very exquisite.
Now, where were we?
We see Shadow Shaman being played by Millen Gaga. Moving to the DK. We see it being handled by the one and only #SleepAt4. And on the Darkseer, we see it being handled by Russ West 44, which I think I've seen Russ West. I remember he did some very impressive play on some hero. It was like pretty impressive. I was impressed. I think we're all impressed. We had a good time. He did some really impressive stuff, so he's gonna be a player to watch, or a player to watch. And we see Dazzle being handled by none other than No Name, because there's no name here. We'll see that in a second. And last one is Gyrocops being handled by Dunn, because he's just done with all this nonsense. So we see both teams just kind of rotating around the corner. Dire going to go invade the Radiant jungle, maybe see if they can get a pick off, try to go for the rune. We see Radiant, they're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I need to adjust my audio settings. So let me adjust my audio settings real quick. This is going to bother me because Dota TV is not showing my mic
30 seconds to
being turned on. Oh, these pings. Oh, lord, these pings. Alright, let's turn that down to like 7%. There we go. Okay. Alright, we're good. I don't have to yell now. Or do I? Dota. Alright, so we see both sides invading each other's jungle. They're going to go and run in their respective directions. I don't think anybody's going to see a kill. They might be able to get a kill on top of mid if they do wait long enough, because Invoker is relatively open. Oh, sorry, he's on that team. Like, I guess DK's kind of open to getting punched in the face a few times and not having the greatest of times. So we might see a gank coming pretty soon.
Well-gotten gains.
And alright, so give me a quick second, because we see some things happen. We just got DK rotating mid. It's going to get the lane blocked out by the Dazzle. CulBlu trying to multitask, and you guys don't know it. Heck yeah, so much swag. Ah, I knew it. It wasn't me. Sorry, you guys' ears are probably blowing up now. My bad, guys. Alright, my mic audio was way low. Man, I hope you guys can hear me on that one. Jeez, let me turn this all the way down. This is like so high right now. Technical difficulties. Let's turn that back to apply. Okay. Alright, there we go. My mic audio is peaking like normal. Okay, we're good. We're good. CulBlu is satisfied with his results right now. Alright, moving back into the game, because now I got some of my technical difficulties to deal with. I was going to talk about what these lanes are coming out to. We got the Bounty Rune did get picked up by both mids, respectively, so the people that you want to have it, so to speak. DK is going to have a hell of a road to get into here. Actually, speaking of hell of a road, we got the first play happen on top of Gyrocopter top lane. I saw his life going. I couldn't move fast enough, but Gyrocopter does die. Unfortunately, we see Gyrocopter being ended. And moving on to the rest of the stuff, though. Aggressive tri lane? Yeah, this is Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor, Undying, and Juggernaut kind of called it. I was kind of expecting to see aggressive tri lane. I was actually expecting more of aggressive tri lane from TongFu. Did they leave? No, they did. They did not leave Gyrocops by himself. Shadow Shaman is elsewhere. Shadow Shaman's hanging out mid with DK. Okay, it makes sense. And you know, I've been seeing this a lot. I think this is another shift in the meta too. I think people are starting to realize that it's a lot more important for the mids to have a really good game. So they're dedicating supports to hang out mid with their mids to make sure that they have the good levels, especially when you're going against somebody like an Invoker. I don't know why, but I guess Invoker is specifically the one that people keep doing it against. But it just kind of makes it for I guess new shift in meta, new ways. I guess we gotta stop being all old. I'm like, stop messing up my meta. Get off my line, you darn kids. But Shadow Shaman was hanging out mid with the DK, which probably resulted in the easier first blood, because Shadow Shaman's control is a lot stronger than what people think it is. Moving into Shadow Shaman, because I want to talk a little bit more about him. Shadow Shaman is one of those heroes that it's kind of hit or miss. Like, either you do really well with him, like you do extremely well, or you just do complete trash and straight garbage on him. It depends on how you position yourself. I guess it's more so for me than anybody else, but it depends on how you position yourself. And usually he has his 2 hexes. He has his hex, and he also has his shackles. Depending on the situation determines which one you want to do. The general understanding with Shadow Shaman is that if you can get the kill, then drop the shackles. If you're trying to set up for a kill, then drop a hex. So what that means is, like, if you're trying to run up to somebody to get them in a stun, drop your hex, because it's a lot better than doing nothing. But if you are like in range, you think, hey, we can get this kill if we just turn on them, drop your shackles, because shackles takes a little bit more time. So we're gonna take a little bit more time. We got Gyrocops just taking a lot of damage. Wow. That's so much hate right there. Man, Invoker, it's just so hateful. Make sure Gyrocops can't have the greatest of time. Maybe forces some mana out of Dazzle. Dazzle does not have his heal right now. He has a poison touch. He also has a shallow grave. So it looks like Dazzle's armed and ready to try to go for some kills. Gyrocops actually TPing down bottom, so he can have an easier lane. I think we're gonna have the Darkseer rotate, or maybe they even have the supports rotate around too. Shadow Shaman is hanging on mid, making sure the Invoker has the worst possible time. That Ether Shock though, and oh, Shadow Shaman's gonna run. Okay, whew, dim boots though. And then Invoker's gonna go ahead and live. Dim boots though. Shadow Shaman just basically running out of range. Doesn't want to get caught with the right clicks. It would be very bad if he did, because that would be easy death. Nothing DK can really do about it, but just breathe fire and walk away. So Shadow Shaman needs to be very careful on these engagements. He is a relatively fragile hero, but he has a lot that he can do. And I like the fact he's keeping up with levels relative to the other supports. I'm assuming. I say that as I not look at the last hits. Let's see. The other supports are the Witch Doctor. Yeah, so he's relatively close in levels and Undying. So relatively close. And Jug gonna go ahead and play a spin. I mean, yeah, let's just listen to it more. There you go. That's what I wanted to hear in this morning. Yep. Okay, enough of that. But we got a pause coming up. I'm not really sure what the pause is about. But as far as what I expect out of this game, I'm expecting Worlds End to probably be a lot more aggressive than what they need to be. I'm expecting maybe to even foil in their hands. I've seen, like I said, I've seen a few games of TongFu. I've seen enough to know that they're very patient, they're very poised, and they keep their composure very well. So it tells me if TongFu start getting dove on, they'll probably start responding appropriately with the rotations. Dazzle's going to have a heck of a game if they do start getting dove on though, so he needs to be very ready for that. Already has a TP scroll. Nope, does not. Probably should get a TP scroll here very soon. But for the most part, we got Shadow Shaman and DK hanging out mid, trying to make sure Invoker has the hardest of times possible. There is a ping on top of Shadow Shaman, so he's actually about to get wrapped around ganked. It's going to be the horrible thing, because it will be a smoke gank, Witch Doctor, and Undying as well. And here comes the tombstone, here comes all the nukes, and there's Shadow Shaman getting smacked into the ground. Hashtag no escape. So he did have the worst of times. Meanwhile, the rotation of lanes did come through. Darkseer will be hanging out up top with the Juggernaut, who's going to have a very hard time in this lane without an Oracle. So they'll probably need to rotate some supports in there eventually to start getting rid of those ion shells. But this lane down bottom is a little bit better overall for Gyrocopter. It's not the greatest thing in the world, because he can still get jumped on, he can still get dunked, I guess, if you want to call it that. But he can still get wrecked pretty hard, so he needs to be very careful, because Timbersaw is very sticky as far as a hero, and also Timbersaw's level 6. Oh, by the way, Timbersaw's level 6, and Gyrocopter's not going to have that much of a chance. It's going to get zoned out pretty hard. Timbersaw can jump on it anytime he wants, but we got the pings coming down. They want to go for the kill on top of the Gyro. Witch Doctor's running as fast as he possibly can. Those boots are ready. Them brown boots. Wearing them souls in. Speaking of souls, Shadow Shaman still hanging out mid. DK going to continue to get his farm, doing it pretty darn well. Invoker is ahead in the last hits, but DK is keeping up relatively nicely for a melee, I guess. The best you can have. Meanwhile, top lane, Undying just being as pesky as he possibly can be. Shadow Shaman, they're pinging. They pinged Shadow Shaman and they said, hey bro, go that way, or something. It looks like Mila just gonna go and drop a rune or drop a ward and pick up a level. I heard a healing self. Yeah, healing self came out from Juggernaut. Took a little bit too much damage coming out from the iron shells, I'm assuming. But Dazzle and also Shadow Shaman will be here, so it should be a kill here very soon. Shadow Shaman is ready, at the ready with his 2 points Ether Shock, so try and go for the nuke and shackles. And it's another thing as well to talk about Shadow Shaman. So one thing that I learned the very hard way is that you cannot afford 2 points in shackles and 1 point in hex. You just don't have the mana pool for it. So you might as well go for your nuke. Your nuke is a lot cheaper, and shackles is really crappy range, but really short range. But at the very least, if you want to have all your abilities, it's probably best to go ahead and just get a... Oh, wait, hold on. We got him dying, hang out in the corner. Shadow Shaman, we're looking for the shackles. He can actually go for it, but no, he actually lets him drop the tombstone. Darkseer will be backing away. And we see a kill down bottom on top of Gyrocopter. It was an easy kill from Timbersaw. Timbersaw's not going to be getting paid back for that. He's going to be able to TP out of there. Actually, TP right back to his tower. And Darkseer's going to be able to surge himself right on out here. So Russ West having the easier time. Make sure that he forced the tombstone out. I don't know if he actually... No, he did not get the kill on top of the tombstone. It was a little bit too much to deal with. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor and DK are about to have the best of times right now. Witch Doctor dropping the casket. Here comes the Maledict as well. A lot of damage coming his way. Shadow Shaman has the shackles available. Shallowgrave getting used on top of DK. Might be a little bit too early. He needs to actually drop out a heal. Looks like Sunstrike's going to fall through. It's going to hit DK right in the face. No, it just barely misses. And Maledict, will it be enough? No, it will not be enough. DK stays alive. Sunstrike just barely missing him. If DK would have walked into his armor would have been polished in the worst of ways. He might have liked how shiny his armor would have been, because it would have been pretty burnt. Yeah, pretty burnt. Pretty shiny though. You know, I never thought about that. If somebody has shiny armor, shouldn't it just like reflect the sunstrike, or are we just considering it radiation? Because if we're considering it light, it should just like reflect and hit everybody else, right? Kind of like Winter Warman's thing. You know, she throws the ice shards and it bounces on top of everybody else. How about sunstrike work like that? That'd be cool. I don't know. This is a way to balance Invoker. Anyway, JK. Speaking of balance, we see Juggernaut hanging around the corner, has his ulti available. Darkseer does not want to be caught out with any creeps around him anytime soon, so he'll probably hang out next to the creep lane and just keep pushing the wave. That's what he does. Meanwhile, we got a lot of posturing heading mid. Shadow Shaman, he is level 3, almost level 4, about to have another point for his hex, about to have a point for his hex or another point for his shackles. Does go for the hex instead. And they're going to continue the roaming around. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter's going to get dove on. He gets smacked into the ground. Dazzle showing up around the corner. Shallowgrave a little bit out of range. It's very relatively crappy range. Not very crappy range, but just relatively crappy range overall. Level 1. Level 4, beautiful range, 1k range. Basically over vision range at nighttime. So it's really nice, really useful. But Timbersaw is off to a fantastic start. He got himself 2 kills on top of the carry of TongFu, so TongFu needs to be very careful about that. DK, I do not see him as a carry until he is level 16, so I do think he absolutely needs level 16 before he can start carrying. He has that awkward timing window. It's a lot more awkward than Gyrocopter's actually. Oh my gosh, you know what? Oh, this is so gross. It's going to be so awkward for these guys until they hit level 16, respectively. Gyrocopter's going to need a few more items, of course. And oh, they're going forward. Here comes the zombies as well. Timbersaw's showing up. He has the damage necessary. This might be a dead DK. Looks like it will be a dead DK. That Whirling Death doing so much work. Shadow Shaman dropping the shackles, not able to do anything at all. Gaga will be forced to back away. The shackle was a little bit too late, and Hand of Midas does get picked up by Invoker, so he is definitely looking to try to be the carry for his team. And his team is going to be doing relatively well. This is going to be a Quas Exort Invoker, I'm assuming. He probably has no reason to go Quas Wex. He has enough control in his Witch Doctor and Timbersaw. But Quas Wex Invoker would be just as fun, or just as fine. But given the fact that he did go for the Hand of Midas, it actually could... You know, some people mention that Wex Exort is a thing, but apparently it's not as much of a thing as Quas Exort. So I'm just going to stick with Quas Exort. I don't know if Wex Exort actually gives you anything. But anyway, DK is going to hang out mid, TP's in, gets a few right clicks, gets hit with Cold Snap. Yeah, this is a normal day in DK's life. Moving up top, we have TongFu having nothing going for him. Timbersaw about to dive on top of the Gyrocopter. Needs TP supports immediately. Dazzle's trying to run up here as fast as he possibly can, but his brown boot will only take him but so fast. Actually, he has no boots. Lols. JK. Meanwhile, down bottom, Darkseer might be getting caught out in the worst way possible. Juggernaut looking for the ulti, going to be able to get it. Here comes the vacuum, not going to be able to catch him. Looks like this will be a dead Darkseer. Oh no! Very close to killing Witch Doctor and also Juggernaut, but not by yourself. He had his ulti available, but did not use it. Maybe if he would have dropped his ulti and then dropped back, he might have been able to get something, but that's kind of reaching. That's reaching at this point. And I think TongFu are doing the thing that they need to do. They need somebody to babysit. They need somebody to babysit the Gyrocopter until he can get his levels. Just the same way they need somebody to babysit DK, because otherwise Invoker would just bully DK all out of lane. Which is funny, because considering DK has so much armor, and insult to injury, Man, that is so hurtful. Sleep at 4 does get denied the tower mid by Invoker. What a jerk. Just being the biggest jerk ever. But that's going to be tower advantage in favor of TongFu officially. Not really saying much when they're this far behind. We see Worlds End are actually doing really well in the gold graph. They're also doing really well in the XP graph. And item-wise, they're actually doing pretty good too. Undying has Arcane Boots. You also have Arcane Boots on Timbersaw. He's working towards his Bloodstones. He's about 3 pieces away from that if I'm not mistaken. Hand of Midas is fully finished up on top of the Invoker. Juggernaut, he's going to be going for the face boots. I'm assuming he'll go for Sanjiasha. Assuming you go for Sanjiasha, not drums. And now we got Undying's Illusion. It's going to walk around, just be as obnoxious as possible. DK's going to continue to farm. He knows what's up. That's his Illusion. Just trying to get some scouting vision. That's all they want. And on the other side of TongFu, they have Shadow Shaman with the Arcane Boots, which is great. That's what he needs. He needs things like that. And, oh, speaking of things like that, we got Darkseer way down bottom. I don't know what he was doing down here, but looks like he is going to be officially lose his life. Might have been trying to do some creep skip or skipping the creep wave and trying to kill it to let tower die, but looks like it didn't work out at all. Still, TongFu going to be on the back foot this whole entire time. But like I said, don't let this start fool ya, says CulBlu, because he's hedging his bets. As you guys do seem relatively patient, so I hope they keep their composure as the game goes along. Anyway, Sunstrike might come out here from Invoker. Look, Shadow Shaman's going to go and turn. Beautiful turnaround. They're going to go for the kill on top of the Invoker. This is exactly what they needed. They're going to be able to keep the Shadow Shaman alive. Well played, well played. That's exactly what you want to do every single time. Like I said, you drop the Hex to set up for the kill. You drop the Shackles when you know you got the kill. Drop the Hex just to make sure you can try to get away, or see if you could get away. And then he said, hey, Invoker's doesn't have that much HP, bro. So people TP in, DK is right in position, and they just go ahead and get themselves a Shackle and easy kill. So Shadow Shaman's officially level 6. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Juggernaut, not able to get any objectives just yet. Does not have the healing ward yet. Actually almost has level 11, so he's been doing really well in his levels. He's been farming like a monster, has a whole entire 89 last hits to his name, has not died, has 1 kill, 1 assist, having the best of games ever. But like I said, it's going to be more about the Invoker, at least in the mid game. Juggernaut, he might be able to get a good ulti off, but that's really about it. Speaking of good ulti, he has level 2 of his ult now. So I still don't know if we're going to see a drums from Juggernaut. Or even a Mask of Madness. Like some people still like to go for Mask of Madness on Jug. We got pings coming down the bottom. They're saying, hey, go for top tower. They're saying, hey, go for bottom tower. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a tower trade here very soon. Undying and crew gonna walk straight up and just casually walk into the tower and kill it. As far as the team fights advantage go, when the team fights do break out, it's going to be a little bit of a wash. Undying does bring a lot of team fight presence because of that tombstone, and you also have a lot of team fight presence come out from Darkseer because of the vacuum. But looks like Wishlock is going to come around the corner, get immediate stun up, get wrecked, bro. Here comes the vacuum, here comes the wall, and it's a lot of damage. That's Undying going to be going down immediately. Big kill, big damage. Timbersaw going to be the next one to go down. Gyrocops is caught on, going to be just enough. A huge team fight going in favor of TongFu. They need to push immediately, and they will. Going for those objectives as fast as they possibly can. And Invoker's the only one who can really defend this, and I don't think he's in position to actually do jack squat. So this will be a secondary tower. Shadow Shaman saves the Surf and wards he has him available. Gonna go ahead and drop him on tower. And oh yeah, that's what we want to see. Them sexy wards though. So the push for TongFu just blowing the game wide open. We'll be able to get themselves a lot of advantage here. But it looks like they will be trading some damage on their tier 2 of their own. TP coming on top from the DK. Secondary going to be coming from the Gyrocopter. And Jug will be running as fast as he possibly can. DK is level 9, unfortunately. Wow, only level 9. That kind of sucks. Yeah, DK's only level 9. Juggernaut eating himself a mango, and he's going to continue to farm. Meanwhile, we got Observer Ward placed over here. I'm not sure if they're pinging because they saw it. I'm not sure if they're pinging because they know it's there. But we got some nice vision coming out from the bottom lane, so they can see when Juggernaut's walking in there when he's farming. And actually, Darkseer can go ahead and steal the creeps, and it looks like he will. Russ West going to go and steal the jungle from the enemy because, hey, why not? Just want to get yourself as much farm as possible, right? And he is working on that mechanism for his team. Going to be about a 15-minute mech. Here, as soon as he gets this camp and probably one more camp, he will have enough gold for the recipe, which is I think 900 if I'm not mistaken, so 200 more gold. And Timbersaw still working towards, looks to be a bloodstone now. Oh my gosh, Gyrocopter got picked off. Oh no, oh no. Gyrocopter, what you doing, bro? Gyrocopter dies out here solo versus the Juggernaut, getting picked off by the ulti. Not the best of turns, or sorry, not the best turn of events for them at all. Especially considering the fact that their supports were actually relatively close. Looks like they weren't close enough. Meanwhile, Darkseer hanging over here, gonna be able to TP out of there. Timbersaw and crew not gonna be able to get any kill on them. And now we got DK versus Juggernaut. DK has his ulti available, yes. So Juggernaut needs to be very careful. Jug does have the spin though, so he's gonna go ahead and just try to TP out, or maybe he wants to stay for the kill. I don't know. Shadow Shaman, how close are you to a Blink Dagger? Not very close. Not close at all. not nearly as close. And Jug and DK is gonna go ahead and just stand there, bide their time. Shadow Shaman's coming around the corner. They're gonna go on. Looks like DK has ulti available, and Jug still not visible. You see? Oh, wow! Really? Are you kidding me? Paper Doll is not visible at all. He's gonna go ahead and TP out. And Gaga and Sleep at 4. They're gonna just push top lane. Okay, cool. All right, new directive. Push top lane. Shadow Shaman has the server modes available. He wants to drop them. Needs to put them down as many times as he possibly can. This should be easy tier 1 for him, especially considering Juggernaut did just TP mid. DK is gonna go ahead and pop that ulti. They're pinging it. They're saying, hey, we need to get this mid tower. Juggernaut does not have the healing ward yet, so it's going to make it a little bit harder to push, but Undying's Tombstone will help out a ton. So no TP response coming out from TongFu at all. They're going to go and just be satisfied with the trade. Meanwhile, item progression is showing that Darkseer does have his mechanism fully finished up. We have a Sanj finished up by DK, so Sanj and Yasha likely his item progression. Maybe even a Silver Edge. I would love to see a Silver Edge, but hey, I can love to see a lot of things, but I will never see them. Too soon? Too soon? Too soon? Okay. Sorry, not too soon. Timbersaw still working on that Bloodstone. He's not all that close to... Actually, no, he's pretty close to it. Yeah, he's down, what, a recipe? He has pretty much the Vit booster and the recipe left. And once he does that, he can disassemble those Arcane Boots, get that Bloodstone, and just be unkillable. Moving on to the rest of the people on the map. Juggernaut's working on looks to be a Sanj Yasha of his own. DK, he just has a Sanj. Like I said, he can technically go for a Heaven's Halberd. I think Sanj Yasha gives him a lot more utility because the more right click you have, especially once you have a level 16 dragon, the better off you are. Moving on to everything else, Shadow Shaman working on it looks to be a... Okay, I hope he doesn't think he's buying Aethelins because that's not how you build Aethelins anymore. But he does have a casual cloak and he also has the Arcane Boots. I don't know if he's going to be trying to go for something like Aethelins or if he's trying to go for a Glimmer Cape or a Pipe. Glimmer Cape would be really nice and all in all to allow him to just run in there, drop his ult, and then back away. Meanwhile, Sunstrike from Invoker is going to be getting pinged. They're saying, hey, they're doing Roche. And it looks like, no, they're not doing Roche. Nobody's doing Roche. Soul Booster finished up by Timbersaw. His recipe, I think recipe costs 900. And, oh, so many menus. Okay, they paused. Alright, cool. Good timing. Stop that. Where is the item? Oh, there are items. So many items. They move stuff, and it's like messing me up so bad. Alright, we'll do this. Nope, won't let me do that. Come on, CulBlu, you can do this. I believe in you. Believe in the heart of the cards. There it is, Bloodstone. Alright, recipe for Bloodstone costs 900, so Timbersaw should have it in this next creep wave, assuming he doesn't die. So taking a look at the net worth of the team, we see that the net worth of Juggernaut is actually pretty good, pretty decent. DK is right behind him, which is not what you really want to have. DK is a relatively able carry. I do not give DK credit at all until he hits level 16 though. I'm not a believer that DK can carry until he's level 16 because that's when he has his Ice Dragon. Ice Dragon form, really helpful. A lot of splash damage going his way too, usually by the time. And if he does have a Blink Dagger AC, he can usually just rip down towers and rip down people respectively. Doesn't look like he's going to have an AC anytime soon. Just going to get a TP scroll flying out to him. And up top we got Garcup. They're still heading up there. Working on a Helm on a Dominator. He did decide to go for Power Treads instead of Phase Boots. Trying to go for some more survivability. Makes a lot of sense. He has been getting splatted a few times. 4 deaths total to his name. Moving on to the Darkseer. Mechanism fully finished up. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get Guardian's Greaves, but it's going to be really nice when he does get them. Moving to Shadow Shaman. Hasn't really progressed since last time we checked. I'm assuming he's saving up for a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff. Blink Dagger really I wouldn't say a Blink Dagger is absolutely necessary on Shadow Shaman, but of all the games that I played as Shadow Shaman, I noticed that as soon as I get a Blink Dagger, I become significantly more useful because Shadow Shaman is so freaking slow. It's not even funny. But having the Blink Dagger is going to be really nice for him, so hopefully he can get that. Moving on to the Dazzle, he does have him down in the curse, so they can actually go for Roche whenever they do win the next team fight. And Gyrocopter, we already talked about him. Nothing too terribly impressive. Actually, we got a Smoke Gate coming up here. Darkseer is going to be the bait. And I don't know if they saw the mana increase, but it looks like they're pinging it. They're saying, hey, let's go bottom. Hey, let's go for Roche. I don't know if they're pinging. I don't know what they're pinging. There's also a Hellbear Smasher is invisible, hanging around the corner. Looks like the Timbersaw is going to have his Bloodstone just in time to die. The Shadow Shaman coming forward. They're not going to be able to find it. Looks like, oh, they're scrambling as hard as they possibly can. DK should be able to get the kill on top of that courier. The courier will be going down. Just taking a very long time. And nope, the courier didn't die yet. Oh man, the courier survived. Meanwhile, we got a beautiful vacuum call down as well. The combination is strong with these two. Undying, the most important person to kill. He will be going down. Wishocker going to be dropping the ulti. He does get turned to a chicken immediately. Beautiful time on top of that coming out from Shadow Shaman. Well played. He does go down at the end of the day though. Now Garcup, he has a Shallow Grave on top of him. Timbersaw forced to drop out the suicide. Here's DK dropping his stun on top of Juggernaut. Juggernaut's ulti did already go through. Garcup trying to keep himself alive. If he just has a little bit more life still, he might be able to do it. But looks like no, he won't be able to do anything. He actually gets a kill on top of Wishocker, but he will die at the end of the day. The casket bouncing around, doing some some good work right now from Witch Doctor, but looks like the Sunstrike's going to miss as well. Darkseer and crew are going to be the victors of that. They did force the Shadow Shaman ulti out, but hey, Shadow Shaman did his damage. He dropped the Hex on top of Witch Doctor, stopping most of the damage from World's End, but overall the fight does go in favor of World's End. They did get the bigger kill on top of the Shadow Shaman, or sorry, on top of the Gyrocopter, and they also kept Invoker alive, which is pretty surprising. Invoker has a whole entire drum to his name, so I guess he has more stats than he seems like he has. His invoking spells and whatnot, all this nonsense. But Timbersaw, he did suicide, so technically 3 kills going the way of TongFu. They did get denied the gold from Timbersaw though, but they did force some Bloodstone charges out, so that's gonna be good. It's always good when you can do that. Less mana regeneration from Timbersaw, not like he needs it. So, moving up to the top lane, Juggernaut has a haste rune. DK's hanging out all by himself. He's going to go ahead and back away. Sanji should fully finish up, and oh, Timbersaw, oh my gosh, Undying does get scouted out. They're going to surge forward. They're going to try to go for a kill. If they can get it, that'll be great, but looks like no, they won't be able to. Undying moving a little bit too fast, just shambling along. And the stack's going to be getting taken. They're pinging it, saying, hey, they're doing a stack. Hey guys, they're doing a stack. Aghanim set to fully finish up by Invoker, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you by saying that so loud. But Aghanim set to fully finish up, so that means that no mana cost coming from his ult, and also the cooldown's a little bit better. Only 1 point inside of it so far, though. And also that means I think that only means once he has maxed out of everything, he can get like upgraded abilities. I still don't understand how the Deafening Blast works, at least the AoE Deafening Blast, but I think he has to have maxed out everything before he gets AoE Deafening Blast. We'll see in a second. Ugh, go away. So Deafening Blast, blah blah, travel distance, blah, disarm, blah blah, blah blah. Nope. Oh wait, if Quaspex and Exort are all max level, Deafening Blast becomes a non-targetable. Oh okay, it's only max level? What? I thought it required Axe. Well okay then. I did not realize that you had to have just everything maxed out, and then you got the OP Deafening Blast. But I've seen a lot of big plays because of the OP Deafening Blast. Anywho. Moving back to the status of the game that we're watching, World's End, they did lose a little bit as far as the gold graph goes over a very fast period of time. They lost a few kills, a few key deaths happened there, but they did gradually get it back over. For those who don't know how to read graphs that well, or for those who are not used to reading graphs, the way you read a graph is basically the faster the slope goes down, like the steeper the slope, the faster the change was. So that means over a shorter period of time that happened, and then over a longer period of time it started going back up towards World's End. But looks like we got a smoke gate coming out for World's End, so they're going to try to get themselves some more advantage. We got Timbersaw heading in the front, Ice looking for a pickoff, looks like he's not going to be able to find anything. Juggernaut might be getting killed here. Nope, he actually gets a tower. Halen Ward finally has a point put into it. Gonna be able to tank that up. Meanwhile, DK is gonna get scouted out. Oh no, DK! DK, no, we need you alive, bro. He's gonna be getting hit with a bunch of damage, all in the nukes, everything just flying right towards his face. TP support coming in, but it's a little bit too slow. And DK at this point will probably need a BKB. This is gonna suck. He's level 12, so he's not close to level 16. So I still don't recognize him as an official carry. He's not the official carry of the team of TongFu, but he's definitely gonna be important. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor's gonna go ahead and fight Roshan because that's what he does. Oh wait, no, that was just Witch Doctor dewarding. I lied. The Hellbear Smasher though is gonna get bashed, and then it's gonna run away. Sentry Ward did get placed on the stack. Nope, Sentry Ward did get placed on the high ground so they can see people walking around the side, especially Invoker. And now we got the mid tower finally getting sieged. Paper Doll does have the ulti available, drops out the healing ward as well, so they need to press the fact that the TongFu but they need to respect the fact that TongFu can defend. Looks like they will begin ice hit with a few abilities. Here comes Juggernaut spinning in. Shadow Shaman forced to drop the wards. This will be a nice fight if they do fight into him, but looks like they're not going to fight into him. There's going to be complete disengage coming from World's End. A very smart idea because you do not want to fight next to the Shadow Shaman wards. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter is taking so much damage right now. He actually might die. Dazzle might need to drop a Shallow Grave on him. Looks like Dazzle will be able to get in range. Shallow Grave coming to him. No, he actually drops a heal instead. DK, beautiful on top of DK. On top of it's on top of dying. There goes the ulti from Darkseer, and here's a casket from Witch Doctor bouncing around, doing some nice bit of work. Juggernaut unfortunately bounced on top of a bunch of creeps, and everybody's staying alive on the side of TongFu. Shadow Shaman wards drop, but hey, who really cares? Invoker might be the next kill. Looks like the Sunstrike's gonna come through. DK Blink Dagger not available. I thought he blunked, but looks like he didn't. That was a Darkseer. And the whole crew would just be pushing on towards either Roche or mid. I think at this point they do not have enough. They have not won enough to actually go forward and take down that mid tower, but they did pull the gold graph back down a little bit, forcing Worlds End to play a little bit more respectively overall. You do still have to respect the fact that Shadow Shaman has a Surfer Wards. You do also have to respect the fact that Darkseer Vacuum Wall is still pretty darn strong. Especially in that fight. You saw Undying just pretty much get melted. I think he died. Did he just die? I don't know if Undying died, but Undying is going to be a big factor in these fights too, because if you get a vacuum wall on top of Undying while he's Golem form or Flesh Golem, then you will get that aura for your team as well, because the Flesh Golem does copy the aura, which means that increases TongFu's damage. So it's a blessing and a curse for Undying to be so stinky with the amplified damage aura that I talked about earlier during the draft. So we will see how TongFu decides to play around that. So far, it's been working out for him. I think it's been nullifying, at the very least slightly nullifying, some of the advantage that Worlds End have. But considering the fact that in this Invoker is not Quas Lex, does kind of tell the tale that they don't have as much control of these fights as TongFu does. They have the Timbersaw who can just zone people out, sure. But at the end of the day, between Shadow Shaman, Dazzle, and Darkseer, they have a lot of control. In the sense that they can either keep people alive, they can keep people pushed out, or keep waves pushed out. They can also slow people down, and stun, and vacuum, and just all kinds of gross things. So Worlds End are losing the fight as far as the control factor, but it doesn't really mean much when you use all your ultis to only get 1 kill, I guess, or 2 kills. Excuse me. Shadow Shaman, go ahead and drop the sword for once. They're going to go for the objective of Roshan. They might need to be, or they will need to be careful. The Invoker is heading up top. He's going to be knocking on the top door. They are pinging the Roast Pit. I think Invoker, Sunstrike. I don't know if it got dropped. Looks like it did not get dropped, but Dazzle's going to go and drop his ability, and everybody's waiting on the outside. Timbersaw scouts it out with the Whirling Death. They do see the Shadow Shaman Surf Force getting pushed, or they were committed overall. Now Invoker will be getting some free damage on top of tier 3 tower. This is not a great trade, not that great of a trade, especially if they can't really get a good fight, but they do get the Aegis. Now Wishlock is going to show up. He's going to take quite a bit of damage. Actually gets a very timely Invisible Rune. And now DK will be taking a little bit of damage, and Wishlock is not going to be able to use invisibility to its fullest, but a lot of damage coming towards these two people. This will be a Darkseer clipping the Timbersaw, but unfortunately Timbersaw can run down. No, beautiful stun coming from DK. They will be able to get the kill on top of Timbersaw. The vision coming out from the wall, and the fight still continuing on. Gyrocopter has the Aegis available, but looks like he will be forced to use it. DK trying to kill the Tombstone, does get the kill on top of Tombstone. Now Juggernaut will be going toe-to-toe with the rest of the crew. DK doing a nice chunk of damage to the Undying. Undying getting hit with a few bashes, and a few stuns. Looks like Undying still alive. Gyrocopter does officially go down. DK wants his kill, damn it. He will get the kill. He's going to go and try to TP out. He knows that they have no stun. It looks like he will not be able to make it out. What happened? Oh my gosh, Juggernaut has a basher. When did Juggernaut get a basher? Holy crap. So a lot of things lost on TongFu's gaming side. Wow, huge mistakes made. I thought it was an okay idea as long as they got the Roche fast enough and somebody could go defend, but it looks like they lost their entire top Raxes. DK was not able to make it out alive. They also burned the Aegis in that entire fight. Man, okay, wow. I was overestimating the amount of control that TongFu had. Juggernaut was just like, bro, I'm just gonna right click you to death. And Juggernaut will not be denied when he has a basher. Looks like the tower will be taking a lot of damage. Darkseer shows up. Vacuum wall is not online though. He has vacuum available. That's all he can really do. Juggernaut gonna go and spin in a few circles. Spin a little bit. Spin and win. That's what he does. And Midirax is gonna be going down here. TongFu gonna drop the Fortify. And this is going to be a very awkward state. Shadow Shaman has the Surfer Wounds available. Drops the chicken on top of Jug. Might be able to drop the Surfer Wounds. Yes, he does. And he forces them all the way back. I don't know if that was really worth it, but it looks like they do save themselves 1 range Rex. Meanwhile, the whole entire Radiant crew feeling very good about the fight. They will continue to press the advantage in their favor. Items are looking fantastic on their side. They have a Guardian's Greave up on Undying. They also have the Bloodstone with, I think, it should be 10 charges by now. Okay, 9 charges, close enough. They have 9 charges of Timbersaw by now, on this point. They're also working on what looks to be, I think that's Shiva's Guard. Shiva's Guard and Timbersaw. Glimmercate fully finished up on Witchdoctor, so that means he can get a fully channeled ulti unless there's some dust on the side of TongFu, which looks like they're already on top of it. They have Centaurs on Dazzle. We have a Aghanim set to finish up for Invoker. He's working on next what looks to be an AC. Wow, really interesting. AC pickup from Invoker, freeing up some slots on Juggernaut, I guess. I think Timbersaw can build that too, but I guess it's better on Invoker. He can afford it, why not? So Invoker has a full AC finish up, means that they can break the base a lot easier now. Meanwhile, Shadow Shaman on the other team, Shadow Shaman only has is just a Ghost Scepter and some Arcane Boots. Sanji Yasha did get finished up by DK, but he's not even level 16 just yet. Oh no, Shadow Shaman might be getting picked off. Looks like they will jump immediately on top of this Gyrocopter. Don't want him to die right now. He's trying to work on a BKB. Looks like he will be taking quite a bit of damage. Timbersaw getting healed up, a massive heal coming out from the Undying, and now it looks like the Juggernaut will be just dropping the ult on top of a few supports. Shadow Shaman and crew gonna be just dying. I'm trying to follow both fights, but it looks like people are dying everywhere. GG, well played, getting thrown out by the Gyrocopter and crew. They're gonna go ahead and tap out of this game, and that's interesting overall. I think the biggest problem in this game was just Shadow Shaman wasn't as useful as a Bane. I mean, I hate to say it. I love Shadow Shaman. I like playing him a lot. But he's not as useful as a Bane in these games. If you had Nightmares, if you had his ultis, you can stop people like Juggernaut from running around, or Invoker. But overall, it looks like it didn't work out as well as TongFu wanted. They got pushed a little bit faster, a little bit harder than they were expecting. And Worlds End do win the first game. So there's another game in the series, guys. So don't be alarmed. I have to find the button. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, be on the lookout for the next game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you guys whenever.